Thanks for tuning in and welcome back to the shop. You know, I really love having a big, massive shop like this. Being able to work on projects like this Fuso without having to worry if it's going to start to rain, being out of the wind and especially the snow in the wintertime are what make a project like this actually possible. But that said, this isn't exactly the perfect space. There's one thing that this entire time of working in this shop I've been missing. You see, this is a metal building, and that means I have to come outside to get any Wi-Fi signal. On the face of it, that may not seem like a big deal, but in the middle of February, when it's minus 30 and blowing outside, and you have to stand in the door to look up a torque spec for the engine you're trying to put back together, it gets old pretty quick. So today, I'm gonna try and fix that the easy way. When I first built the shop, of course, I ran an Ethernet cable from the house. I don't know what happened, but that gives me no internet. I've tried recrimping the ends to see if it was something wrong there, but I think somehow in the middle of the pull, the cable got damaged. I've also tried a couple of the little plug-in Wi-Fi repeaters, and they just don't seem to be able to get internet out to here reliably. I know the Wi-Fi signal reaches the building because my cameras work. So here's my reality. The metal is blocking any Wi-Fi signal from getting inside, the Cat5 cable isn't working, and I need a new way of getting signal from the house to the shop. And that is where we come up with this. This is a Ueevii CPE450 wireless bridge. It's designed to be mounted outdoors and has a range of up to 3 kilometers. For those of you who may have trouble visualizing this wonderful metric unit of measure, imagine walking from the Bellagio to Mandalay Bay, or maybe from one end to the other of Copacabana Beach. Or about 1.8 miles, but thanks for the interesting examples, ChatGPT. So if I mount the transmitter here, and the receiver here, there should be no problems because that's less than 3 kilometers. I'm going to start by mounting the receiver on my shop. Now, the receiver has a B on the back, but if you do get them the wrong way around, there's a little switch inside where you can switch A to B and B to A. Now, because I'm mounting this on a metal building, my mounting is going to be slightly different from what the factory expects. So I'm using a pair of double nutted bolts so that I can permanently mount the bolts to the building and then just drop this over top of the mounts. With the bolts in place, it's just a matter of dropping the receiver over the bolts and slipping it down into place. With the receiver side installed, I've run a section of Cat5 cable and terminated the end. If you've never done this before, I recommend you pick up one of these kits with the tester in it, so that after you've crimped the cables, you can verify that they're good before you continue with the installation. The cable from the receiver simply goes to the PoE injector, and the other cable goes to the router. For this, I'll be using the GL iNet Mini Smart Router, and because it doesn't come with one, I 3D printed a little wall bracket. You can download any of the items that I've printed, just check the links in the video description. Doesn't get much easier than that. Before I power things up, I'm going to go install the transmitter on the house end. After identifying the location, I'm drilling a starter hole in the drywall. I'll follow this with my long drill, feeding it through first to make sure I don't grab onto any wires inside the wall, and then poking it through to the outside. Next, I'll upsize this to 16 millimeters or 5/8 and then pull the network cable through. Because I'm not going to be mounting this flat to the wall, I need it to face towards my shop. I've 3D printed myself a little mounting bracket that this can slip onto and be mounted flat to the wall. This will get the directional signal going towards the shop. I've also found, downloaded, and printed a simple fitting that nicely finishes the 16 millimeter hole and lets the cable pass through. With some sealant and the bracket mounted, this neatly finishes up the transmitter installation. I've also printed one for the inside for a cleaner look than what our internet service provider managed to do. With the bridge installed on the house and on the shop, connecting both halves to the PoE injector and following a very simple one-button push configuration, we connect the router to the PoE injector, which is connected to the antenna. Yeah, once everything's up and running, I'll tidy this up a bit. And lastly, connecting the cables to the PoE injector and the router in the house. Now we're ready to give it a try. If you haven't noticed, I live in the country, and that means I don't have access to the world's fastest internet like people in the major cities. While there is a bit of a difference in the upload speed, that's not overly concerning to me. Out here, I'm not going to be uploading videos to YouTube. I'm going to be watching YouTube or downloading information. Okay, to be totally fair, all I've really proven after several tests is that our internet speed in general is up and down like a kangaroo on a pogo stick. Sometimes it's faster in the shop, sometimes it's faster in the house, but there's really no tangible difference between the two locations. But really, the most important part, does it actually work? Well, thanks for tuning in, and welcome back to the shop. Tecnologia. I've been working out of this shop for about 15 years, and this is a complete game changer. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. If you're struggling with an internet connection because of the distance from your Wi-Fi or the fact that you have a metal building, I highly recommend you check out the Ueevii CPE450 Wireless Bridge. It's not difficult to install, it's not difficult to configure, and let me tell you, it's a game changer having internet where you didn't have it before. Thanks to Ueevii for hooking me up with this. Make sure you take a look at the links in the video description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.